A very good morning. Welcome back to the Tanmay Edge. Today is Nifty expiry Tuesday 5th of May, and this is audio podcast India's first systematic terminal that I am building. Before I tell you what to do today, let me tell you what happened yesterday at the desk and what runs the option chain looking at. A desk had a choice. The market had run from 23,997 on Wednesday to 24,290. That is lunch. Three sessions of greens. Headlines were hot. BJP swept the state polls. Wall popped. Money was on the table. The desk could either lock in profits and go home, or it could write the next move. It wrote the next move. That desk is what we call pros or proprietary books. These are proprietary books of members who trade in accounts. The smartest money on the screen. And here is what Pro did on in one session. Sold 1,20,000 contracts of calls, held 15,000 contracts of futures bullish, trimmed long puts by 63,000 contracts. Read that again slowly. Pro reduced its downside hedge. Pro held its bullish futures, and Pro rode the calls into the rally. Most desks on the streets read this as distribution. The desk is selling the rally. The top is in. I read it completely differently, and the difference between is what today's episode is all. So this is Tanmay Kurtavoti. You are listening to the Tanmay Edge. Today is episode 32. Let's go. If you want to lock in profits and exit, you sell futures. You don't sell calls and keep futures long. That is contradictory. Unless you are not exiting. You are not exiting the trade if you are not selling the futures. You are setting up the pin trade. That is what expiry is all about. Here is what pin means in a pin is when a strike has heavy calls and heavy puts written at the same level. Both writers want the price to settle at that strike. Both writers keep the premium if it does. The chain becomes a magnet. The price gets pulled to that strike at expiry. Yesterday, pros wrote 1.2 lakh calls. Pros also locked in on the put side. The 24,000 strike already had 8 million contracts of put open interest present. Monday added another 2.7 million over there. The 24,100 strike had 5.95 million calls and 5.47 million puts. Stacked total of about 24,100. Now think about it. If the chain is loaded with both calls and puts at 24,000 to 24,100 and Pro just added another 1.25 lakh contracts of calls in that range, where does Pros want this to close? Yes, that's right. And that is the magnet. Today is weekly expiry. Today is when the magnet pulls. But the magnet does not pull in a straight line, and the morning tape proves it. Three things changed overnight from yesterday. Brent crude jumped $5 from 108 yesterday morning to 113 right now. The Iran peace talks unwinded that we saw last week is reversing. The macro tail is back on the menu. Branch trigger of $120 on crude is almost $7 to $8 away now. 2. The rupee broke 95. Yesterday, central bank Forex printed 90 against the dollar. First close above 95 on record. Intraday hit at 95.09. Rupee is breaking down. Rupee tail is still pricing in. 3. The Hang Seng flipped. Monday it was up by 1%. Tuesday morning it is 0.33%. Asia leadership turned. US records also snapped on Monday. S&P closed minus 0.41. Nasdaq minus 0.20. Europe harder. CAC minus 1.74 and DAC was minus 1.26 yesterday. So global is risk off softer, not fight to safety, just soft. What does that mean for the today's expiry? It means open is going to be soft. GIFT Nifty is currently trading around 24,035 right now, 11 points below yesterday's close. Small gap down that we are seeing. First hour you will see a sell off. India VIX will pop up 18.27 maybe to 19 till 21. People will get scared. They will buy puts, they will sell longs. That is the entry we are looking at. So the buy zone for today comes to around 23,950 to 24,050. Keep that in mind. That is where you will start building long. That is where the wing buyers panic and the magnet starts pulling in. Second half, the wall crushes, magnet wins, bounce towards 24,000 to 24,100. Settlement in that zone is what we are looking for today. Cap is at 24,200, that is the secondary wall. Then 24,300, that is the hard wall. Above 20 foot, the trade is wrong and you are out. Wing you have to buy is 23,800 to 23,900. 23,800 is where the pin breaks and the wing fires. You are out of the trade. So 5 predictions for today you have to keep a watch on. Nifty settles around 24,000 to 24,150. Probability of that currently stands around 60 to 65%. 2, 24,300 holds as ceiling. No clean breaks above that. 3. India VIX does a round trip, pops first and crashes by the close. 4. Day low between 23,950 and 24,050. The buy zone hits. The 23,800 wing does not break. 5. Rupee case Nifty Alpha holds in. We finished day 1 with plus 33 basis points yesterday. We need a green print versus the index again today to keep that momentum on. A quick word on the domestic flows as well. They are with us. Yesterday, foreign investors bought 2,835 crore. Domestic investors bought 4,764 crores. Both buying second straight that we are seeing. And FNO index, all the bucket is plus 3,300 crores on the first flow. So first net positive in the last 10 sessions we are seeing. The April handoff from foreign selling to foreign buying is started. Foreign desk pair is still shrinking. Stock long book at 8,05,000 contracts. Index short ratio is 4.18 to 1. It was 4.83 to 1. Both legs are getting trimmed. That is not a crash setup. That is a desk getting lighter going into the expiry. So educational point today. Pin trade mechanics is one line. When a chain stacks calls and put open interest at the same strike, the strike acts as a magnet. When only calls are heavy, the strike is a wall. The wall is where the price gets stopped or it's get restricted. The magnet is where the price gets pulled down as me. Yesterday, writers built both at 24,000 and 24,100. The 24,300 strike is the wall, the 24,000 strike is the magnet, and 23,800 strike is the floor. Two different trades from the same chain that we are looking at. Yesterday, the 76,800 put I told you about on Thursday, today the pin pace, both came from the same desk. You just have to know which strike works for you. One last thing before we close. Yesterday I told you T10 was rebalancing. I would talk about it today. So here it is. 4 out 4 in. India, SBI, Sun Pharma, Dr. Reddy exited. Adani Enterprise, Adani Ports, Nestle, JSW Steel entered. Day 1 Alpha almost 33 basis points. Strategy is up by 0.86%, where it was up by 0.53%. Adani Ports printed 5.41% on the entry day itself. ONGC stayed in the lineup despite minus 2.2%. The system rebalances on momentum, not on yesterday's pain. Next rebalance date is almost 4 weeks out, so we'll talk in the month of June. So it is streaming live on rupeecase.com. You can always go and check it out. So the market always telegraphs, guys. You just have to know where to look for. So you just got earlier. Have a extremely happy trading day. Have a happy expiry, guys. See you all once again tomorrow.